It's 1 a.m. You're scrolling through Zillow in bed, hoping to find something you can actually afford. But every house that isn't falling apart costs $500,000. Cracked driveway, ugly carpet, kitchen from 2003, and the listing calls it a starter home. You do the math on your salary, and nothing adds up. Here's the uncomfortable truth. 80% of American households cannot afford a $500,000 home. Not even close. But banks keep approving them anyway. So who can actually afford this house in 2026? And what happens to everyone who can't, but buys anyway? Let's break it down. So let's start with a simple question. What does $500,000 actually get you in 2026? Most people imagine a big backyard, modern kitchen, maybe a nice neighborhood. But here's the reality. In cities like Denver, Austin, or Raleigh, that money buys you a 1,200 square foot box. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a yard you could mow with scissors, laminate counters, carpet that smells like someone else's dog. And this is supposed to be your dream home. In 1990, homes cost 4 times the average income. Today, it's nearly 6 times. That's not inflation. That's a system breaking in slow motion. But the price tag is just the beginning. Wait until you see what the down payment actually looks like. The old rule says, put 20% down. On a $500,000 house, that's $100,000 cash. Now here's the problem. The average American has $8,000 saved. That's not a gap. That's a 12-year climb just to reach the starting line. And if you skip the 20%, the system punishes you. You'll pay something called PMI, private mortgage insurance. That's $200 to $400 every month, not to protect you, but to protect the bank from you. It's a penalty for not being rich enough. But the down payment, that's just the entry fee. Wait until you see what the monthly payment actually looks like. Most people think the mortgage is the only cost. They see $2,850 per month and think, I can handle that. But that number is a lie because it's missing everything else. Property taxes, $500 a month. Insurance, $300 a month. Maintenance, $417 a month. PMI, another $300. Add it all up. Your real monthly cost is $4,367. And that's when nothing breaks. One water heater explosion, one roof leak, and you're not just stressed, you're drowning. So here's the real question. How much do you need to earn to actually survive this? Financial experts say, never spend more than 28% of your income on housing. Banks say 43% is fine because they don't care if you struggle, only if you keep paying. So let's reverse the math. If your true cost is $4,367 per month, and that should be only 28% of income, you need to earn $187,000 a year. Even at the bank's looser rule, you still need $150,000. Now here's the brutal truth. Only 10 to 20% of American households make that much. That means 80% of families are mathematically locked out. Not because they're lazy, but because the math simply doesn't work. So who's actually buying these homes? Let's follow a real family and watch what happens. Let's meet the Johnsons, 2 working professionals earning $160,000 combined. That's almost double the national median. Upper middle class on paper. They did everything right, saved for years, finally bought the $500,000 house. Everyone was proud. Friends were impressed. But here's what's happening behind that front door. After taxes, they take home $9,500 a month. Subtract $4,367 for housing. They're left with $5,133. Now add car payments, gas, groceries, insurance, loans, utilities. They're left with $1,533 for everything else, the entire month. That's not thriving. That's surviving. 46% of their income, just to keep the house running. And that's when nothing goes wrong. But what happens when something does? When your budget has 0 margin, you're not living, you're balancing. One unexpected expense, and everything collapses. Month 4. Car brakes fail, $800 on a credit card. Month 7, AC dies, $3,500 they don't heave. Month 9, hours get cut. Now they're $600 short every month. That emergency fund, it never existed. This is what 2 a.m. feels like. Lying awake, doing math, praying nothing else breaks. And the worst part, they can't just walk away. The trap already closed. 6 months in, the excitement is gone. You're sitting at your kitchen table, staring at bills, realizing you made a mistake. But here's the problem. You can't undo this. Walk away, you lose your entire down payment. Your credit gets destroyed for the next 7 to 10 years. So you stay, not because you're happy, but because leaving costs more. You smile when people ask about the house. You say we love it. But inside, you're drowning. This is called house lock, trapped by the very thing that was supposed to set you free. And the worst part? Society told you this was the dream. Since childhood, you've heard the same message. Buy a house. Renting is throwing money away. Owning builds equity. It's the American dream. But let's question that for a second. Your parents' house cost 3 times their income. Yours costs 6 times. That's not the same achievement. It's twice as hard. And renting is wasting money? So is drowning in a mortgage you can't afford. Here's what nobody tells you. The broker earns when you sign. The agent earns when you buy. The bank earns for 30 years. Everyone profits when you say yes. No one profits when you say no. So maybe the bravest choice isn't buying. Maybe it's finally asking, is there a smarter way? Here's what no one tells you. Some people looked at that $500,000 house, did the math, and walked away. Not because they failed, but because they were smart. Let's compare 2 friends. Sarah buys the house. Mike keeps renting and invests the difference. 5 years later, Sarah has a house worth $530,000, but owes $420,000 and has almost nothing saved. Mike, he has $160,000 in investments, a full emergency fund, and freedom to move anywhere. Sarah owns more on paper, but Mike controls more in reality. Here's the twist. Equity locked in walls isn't the same as cash you can use. The person without the house might actually be wealthier. But there's one final question that changes everything. After everything we've covered, the down payment trap, the crushing monthly costs, the myths, the stress, it all comes down to one question. A question the mortgage broker hopes you never ask. Will owning this house actually improve my life? Or just transfer my money to a bank while I stress about bills? Most people ask, can I qualify? The right question is, can I thrive? Prices went up 400% since 1990. Wages? Only 180%. No budget can fix that. No side hustle can bridge that gap. And if you're feeling priced out right now, hear this clearly. You're not failing. The system is failing you. The market lost its mind, and now you have the numbers to prove it. The numbers have spoken, and for most Americans, a $500,000 house in 2026 simply doesn't add up. But that doesn't mean the dream is dead. It means the dream needs to be redefined by you, not the industry. If this video gave you clarity, subscribe right now. This channel tells you what the financial world won't. Now I want to hear your story. Are you priced out, stretching too thin, renting and wondering? Drop a comment, because someone else is feeling exactly what you're feeling. And knowing you're not alone, that matters.